Hi, guys. Welcome to another installment of Dialogue with Dab. We are here featuring Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, kicking off February to bring awareness to all things teen dating violence awareness. In our first evening's conversation and round discussion, we have invited some local teens that will be talking with us about what dating looks like and how we can support individuals who may be going through these things. Share, host a watch party, like the Domestic Abuse Project page, and follow along. Please participate. And I would like to introduce our facilitator for the evening, Annie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ania Campbell. I am the Community and Outreach Awareness Intern here at the Domestic Abuse Project County.
All right, and without further ado, we will bring in our team who will let us know their names, their pronouns, and age. We will get started.
Hi, my name is Nicole Harrington. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm 19 years old.
Hi, I'm Amy Hogue. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm 17 years old.
Hi, my name is Lavonda Fuller. I use she, her pronouns, and I am 20 years old.
Okay. All right, so we can get started. So the first question that I have for you, maybe we can do it's three of you, so I guess maybe it'll be like two people answer per question, or if you guys all want to answer, that's up to you guys as well. So the first question I have is, what if any conversations around dating have you had? How do you feel about it? Like, what does it feel like when you talk about dating? We can start. So Nicole, you're like my first one on this. I'll start with you.
Okay. Could you repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Sure. What if any conversations around dating have you had, and like, how do you feel about dating?
How do I feel about dating? It's okay. So since I'm young, I like to be around people a lot. And I like to engage and interact with others, whether it be female or male. And dating, what it is to me is just, getting to know each other and having conversations and seeing where that leads or leads up to. So that would be for me.
Okay, that's good. Amy, what about you? I'm just gonna go like in the the way I see you guys.
Yeah, I really haven't had that many conversations regarding dating per se. So, I mean, with friends and such, it's always, who are you dating? Is your relationship healthy? Does he or she treat you right? But that's really it. I would say for me.
I agree with Amy. That is conversations that what you had with your friends. They're asking who you dating or what's your new fling or whatever the case may be. But the conversation I started out was when I was at Star at Lutheran Settlement House, and how we had conversations about how a relationship should look like, dating a person, how they should make you feel, how a healthy relationship looks like versus an unhealthy relationship. That is when I had conversations about what a healthy or what an unhealthy relationship was, other than, the social media, your parents, your aunts or uncles. Seeing a relationship and talking about dating is two different things. So that's when I started to have the conversation about dating.
Okay, that's all. You guys have all different perspectives about what dating means to you and like who was talking to you. So I love how we all have different perspectives here. So my next question for you, a lot of you have talked about toxic and what is healthy and what is not healthy. I wanted to know, where did you learn the biggest message about dating? And like if you can any celebrity couple you think have the perfect relationship and you would want a relationship like that, who would it be? And then Nicole, we can start with you again.
So in my opinion, I feel like no one has that perfect relationship because everybody and within their relationship has those days or moments where things can go left or things can go right. So the relationship I guess I could use would be like my parents started off very young, married. They've been married over 21 years and seeing them go through the ups and downs of marriage and their stories of how they would tell me when they were dating, of course, and the different obstacles that they had to face. Toxic relationships. I've experienced that a lot within dating myself and with my friends or my peers, and just to simply gather different information from other people, such as like so how do they communicate with you, if they communicate, or do they abuse you, do they not abuse you, just like things like mental, emotional, spiritually, things of that nature. So yeah.
Okay. Amy?
Yeah, I actually really agree. So, my perception of relationships and what they should look like was definitely influenced by my parents and my grandparents and the people in my life. In terms of like a toxic relationship, I think social media has, especially recently, plays a huge role in how teens view toxic relationships and healthy relationships, and what might define them. And definitely just listening to other people's stories, and my own experiences, really has helped me understand what might define a toxic or a healthy relationship.
Did you want me to go? Because you said certain questions you wanted two people.
Yeah, no, you can. We're doing good. You can keep going. I think we're just gonna do all three of you guys. So
Okay. So I kind of like lost the question, after hearing two answers. So can you repeat the question? Okay, I got it. So where I learned my biggest message about dating, it had to be from my parents. That is the first example of what dating is, courtship and everything of those natures. So I think that is where I found my, my like first example is parents. So
a lot of you, like all three of you basically said you guys learned from your parents. What is like one thing that your parents that you want in relationships and to move forward with now? It can be like trust,
Okay.
it can understanding, anything like that. But Nicole, you can go.
Okay. Okay. So mine for my parents would definitely be communication. My parents are really good at communicating with each other, especially when it comes to their children. That's something that I would want in a relationship. Communication is totally key to me. Without communication, the relationship begins iffy. You can hear other things from other different people, and it could just mess up your relationship in general. So mine would definitely be like hardcore communication is first before anything else, and trust. Because if I can't trust you, why are we in this relationship? It just makes sense. Trust and communication are those two
Yeah.
that I need.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So I think for my parents, they're really good at kind of respecting each other's just like who they are. So both my parents can be themselves around each other, and it's not like they're both very different people, and I, have traits from both of them, but there's never a pressure to be someone that they're not. Like, I don't know, my dad is really goofy sometimes, and my mom just kind of lets it be, it's not a bullying in that aspect.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's comfortability, like they just, yeah.
So, I think, yeah, like communication is a big one. We always hear communication is the key. But understanding, like I just seen my aunt post, understanding your partner and understanding yourself, understanding their their goals and your goals, and understanding that when you become like dating and then going further, I know we're talking about dating, but going further, you become one with a person. So you can't become one with something that you don't understand, or is communication you don't know how to communicate to that person. So that's something I learned, is communication and understanding your partner.
A good one. You guys all have great answers. So the next question would be, what is one, or if you have multiple, what is one non-negotiable thing that you are not willing to give up in a relationship, that you must need from a partner, or that you will not tolerate? Anything along those lines is something that you are not negotiating.
Disrespect.
Nicole.
Disrespect. I will
Okay.
not take. If you're having commitment issues, meaning the loyal, if you're unloyal, that is the deal breaker. For me, also, the deal breaker for me would also be, I'm a Christian girl, okay, and I love God, and I'm a church girl. I go to church every Sunday, convocation, communion, all that amazing stuff, and God is right here. This is God, relationship, family, etc., etc. Okay, and so I'm okay. You don't have to have to me. I prefer that you have the same belief as me, and then that way we can, because if I need you to pray for me, but you don't believe in God, how will I know that you are here to support me and comfort me when I'm in, a time of depression, or I can't seem to feel like I can move on? That's what I need. So God first. You got to know the Holy Ghost and Jesus. That, and then commitment, and then and if you're unloyal, those are for me. So yes.
Yes. Okay.
I don't even know how to respond anymore. Okay. So definitely just respect for me and for my character and my personality is so important for me. Like, every part about me, you have to respect it. And just the same thing, if my partner does not respect other people, that's a game changer. Like, you need to respect them for who they are, no matter where they come from, what they look like. You need to respect them, and that's deal breaker.
Now, Nicole, your help was there. Like, you almost took me to church. Like, I was almost there. Like, I can't even. Like, girl, you just took me to church. Can we come back to the panel? Like, I need that moment, because that is my deal breaker. You have to love God, because it says in the Bible that God is love, and love is God. So if you don't love God, how can you love me? How can you even treat me the way that God is treating me? God is up here and love is up here. So how are we gonna even talk? Who can even talk to me? I can't even talk to you, because you don't know God. Now, if you're trying to work on getting to know God and everything like that, then I can help you. If you don't know God, I can help you to salvation and everything like that. But in a relationship, God created relationships. God created dating. So if you don't know God, you don't know the creator of what you're trying to do. So thank you, Nicole. You brought me back. I gotta come back. We at the piano, Lord. We at the piano.
I love how you brought up the fact that if a person doesn't know God or may not necessarily believe and they want to get to that side, like you are willing to help whoever you are in a relationship with get to where they might want to be. So I really appreciate that, because sometimes people do need help about their beliefs and they just might not have enough knowledge about it. So I really like that, the fact that you said you are willing to help a partner get there. So my next question would be, how can we communicate expectations and boundaries in our relationship? So let's say you expect something from them. How do you communicate that to your partner or anybody you are in a relationship with?
For me, for me it would just be how you deliver that message, or through your tone and your speech and delivery. Just go in there calm, peaceful, and just talk about it. It doesn't have to be, oh, this is what you should do, this is what you need to do. No, it works 50-50. You implement some of your ways that you are most comfortable with, and I'll do the same, vice versa. It just works like that. It's just more of a partnership, just working together hand in hand. Nobody is up here, nobody is down here. We're just equal. So just go in there with a nice tone and talk it out, have a good conversation, hear each other out. And yeah, so that would be, yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like being equals, so important for me. And communication and being able to speak up for yourself, or to, lay down your law and then be willing to listen to theirs. Definitely.
So I think it's just, having that conversation before, getting into the relationship or getting serious with the person. One thing that, I want to be transparent. One thing that me and my boyfriend did before we got into a relationship, we played this game, and it was like this question game. We used to ask questions to each other back and forth, and some of the questions was hard to answer. It was uncomfortable to answer, but it was some of these things that you wouldn't talk about regularly outside of a relationship. And that is how we became to understand each other expectations and boundaries. Then it comes in triggers and things that you just deal breakers. These are all the things that we talked about before the relationship when we was both still single. So that also is something that I receive the expectations and the boundaries, because when we had this discussion and conversation before the relationship, once we were in the relationship, you couldn't say you didn't know, because we had this conversation prior. Sometimes teens is scared of having those conversations because they don't want to lose the person or the idea of a person. But however, when you had these conversations, that then dwindle down to if you want to deal with this person, even on the friend level. So that's how I got my.
Wow. Yeah, you know how you said Nicole took you to church? You just took me to church. I appreciate what you said. Like, it's amazing. Definitely, because when you first start in a relationship, you don't know, you're not aware of the person, what makes them tick, what doesn't make them tick. So I like how you guys got that kind of out early before you actually started being in a relationship with each other. So that's really amazing to do. So my next question would be, what are some things you knew about dating? Like that you wish you knew about dating, I guess, before you started, or like who can you talk to have these issues or questions about dating, like who's the person to talk to?
Can you say that one more time? It was kind of like breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. So what are things you wish you knew about dating? Like anything that you might have known before. And then if you do have issues with it, who do you talk to? Who's your go-to person?
Okay. Some things that I wish I knew before dating. Ooh, okay. So transparent moment. Everything is not gonna work like how I want it to work. And I had to get past that everything cannot come my way. And I have to lay aside my pride in order for the relationship to work. A lot of times I would struggle with actually being in a relationship with someone because I prefer to be, I wouldn't say lonely, but when I'm by myself for a long period of time, I'm already set in my ways. So I'm like, oh, I know I don't need this. I don't want this. You can't do this. So when someone enters in, it's just like I have to change my perspective and my perception of things in order for us to make it work. My go-to person of who I go to, she's actually in this little panel that we have, and that's who I talk to about my relationships all the time. And she's just like, ma'am, you're just greedy at this point. And that I can agree with. I can agree with that. So I'm just like, but she also gives great advice on what I should do, what I should take, and what I should not take at the same time. So one thing I wish I knew, I was just understanding that it's not just me anymore. It's two of us. It's the both of us. And in order for us to make this work, we both have to understand that we both come from different backgrounds. So how can we make the missing puzzle pieces come together so we can work? Yeah.
Nicole, I just want to ask, how long did it take you to figure that out? How long did it take you to realize, like, not just one person in a relationship, it's both of us?
Okay, say that one more time. You said,
I just wanted to know how long it actually took you to figure that out, learn, like, it's two people and not just me.
Oh, that took.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you that time. It took me a while. I would say my senior year of high school is when it finally kicked in, and it was just like, okay, now they trying to work with you. I'm gonna need you to work with them. So it was like that. So it took me some years to get that together. And once I did, I found out that the relationship that I got in lasted a little bit longer, more than like 3-4 months, and it went into years. So it took me to the age of, I'm not 17 or 18. It took me some time, but the Lord is still good.
Okay. Amy.
Okay. So I wish that I knew that for one thing, some things just don't work out. It's important to, work and understand each other. But oh my gosh, like sometimes it's just not meant to be, and that's okay. Definitely taking time to kind of step back and look at yourself. Check in to make sure you're okay, not sacrificing anything in a relationship, losing any part of yourself for them, or pretending to be something you're not. And anytime I have any relationship problem or anything about anything, I talk to my mom, for sure, or my parents or my family usually.
So, Nicole, you really be taking me there. Like, you sure you don't know me? Like, because that is me. I wish before dating, I wish someone should have like gave me the definition of relationships and situationships, you know? That is something I wish I would have known, because all these times I thought I was in a relationship and I wasn't, you know? And once I got into my first relationship, which it is now, it's wonderful. You get to see, like, okay, those wasn't that wasn't relationships. That was just, you know, talking to. And also I agree with Nicole. You have to realize that it's not just you anymore. You know, I used to be a person where, like, if I get frustrated, I will turn my phone off. I will stop talking. Like, I will, like, tune out the world when I get overwhelmed. And he was like, this gotta change. I was like, what? Like 50 messages now saying, turn your phone back on. But then I had to realize it's just not me anymore. I can't just run away from the world. And then talking who I go to talk about my relationship, I know this might seem like a cliche or whatever, or unhealthy, but I go to the source. I go to him or I go to God, because I don't allow people to get in the middle of my relationship. Sometimes people, a listening ear can be also a running mouth. So when I'm going to someone and thinking that I'm confiding in them, they're probably just trying to, you know, figure out what's going on in the tea of the week. Or also some people are just trying to, like, be the next you. So I'm not too fond of going to another person about my relationship. Now, I might ask some questions about relationships, or how, you know, when I first got into a relationship, you know, but I wasn't too much of like going to people or going to my friends. My friends really don't like that. I don't share my relationship. Like, my friend just texts me like, girl, you in a relationship? It's like, oh, wait. Oh, but it's just, you know, I tell some and I keep some, and this is the one I want to keep. So yeah. Oh, did you want me to ask what's the difference?
And I see on the comments, you can answer. Actually, I was you guys, if you know the difference, or like, what does a relationship mean to you, and a situationship mean to you?
Okay, so the difference that
how do you guys know the difference?
So the difference that I would say is a relationship is focused on the relation that you have with the person. The situationship is only the situation that you were in that present moment. So when that happens, the relationship, you're able to build upon. The situationship, things can be added, and then it can easily be taken out of it. You don't even try to work on it. It's just the situation for that present time and that present moment. So that would be my difference. Also, yeah.
I agree with Nicole. You know, that was good. That is the definition. I should have known you when I went through, like, some situations. Let's not put numbers on it. Let's not do that. But that is the difference. But also, a situationship is a one-sided thing. Let's remember that a situationship is a one-sided thing. I was in a thought process as if I was acting as if someone's girlfriend, but in all reality, they just wanted the benefit and, like, the idea of me, not me being the girlfriend or being that partner of theirs. So that is the difference between a relationship and a situationship too. That a relationship is not one-sided. That is two people in agreement of that this is what we're going to do. This is what our title is, and that's it. A situationship is something that is one-sided. So the person knows it's a situationship, but I just didn't know until I just was like, oh, this don't feel right anymore. You get what I'm saying? So Nicole was right. I should have known her. She would have told me.
I like all of your guys' ideas, and I like how you guys broke it down because what I'm hearing is it seems like more of a situation is like it's short term, and a relationship is more like a long term thing that people want. So thank you for that clarification. So 1 in 3 young people will be in an abusive or unhealthy relationship. So when you guys hear that, does that shock you? Like how does that make you reflect on that?
For me, it does not surprise me, especially with the generation of today. It does not surprise me at all. I wouldn't say all of us, but most of us or some of us, we don't have, again, that communication. And then we also like to confide in people, like Miss Lavonda had said, we confide in our friends that are trying to be the next girlfriend and not trying to be the best friend and try to help us out. And so when that happens, is I feel like that we should confide in someone who has been through that experience in order to teach us, in order to tell us the way that we should go. Not someone that is, your close friend who done been in plenty of situationships, done been abused back and forth, and now she trying to give you advice on if you should leave or stay. In my opinion, I think you need to leave your situation and not focus on that. But anyway, I digress. But it does not shock me at all, because a lot of times when the communication is not right and you allow others to come in, and then it's like, well, so-and-so said you did this, so-and-so said you did that, so I saw you with so-and-so, so-and-so said she saw you with him or her. And then all that comes to the play, and now we're having a physical argument, and now that can turn into a verbal argument, and now it's a physical argument, where we begin to like tussle and fight. So yes, that it does not shock me at all, especially now with everything going on in the world. It does not surprise me.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Not just with like whatever is happening in the world right now. It just young people are a lot of them inexperienced. Brains are still developing, and gosh, like if you don't have proper role models and you don't know what a healthy relationship looks like, I feel like for young people it's so easy to settle because you want to be the girlfriend or the boyfriend and you like the title or you like the idea of it. Like it's just so easy to kind of disregard that you may be in a bad situation.
No, I'm not shocked by this. Like I said, I worked at Lutheran Settlement House, and this is something that we learned about that did shock me at the moment. But if you come to sit down and you look at all your friends and all the relationships that they're in, at least 1 or 2 out of your friend group, at least 1 or 2 friends out of your friend group is going through an abusive or unhealthy relationship. And then I don't know if we're going to get into what those what an unhealthy or a healthy relationship is, but it can be the most simplest things that they think is just so cute and like just yes, he don't want me to hang out and with my friends, and every time he call me I gotta run to them and all that. But that is an unhealthy relationship. So when I tried to explain, because I was at Lutheran Settlement House the first time I worked there was the summer of my 9th grade year, and I was going in 10th grade. So when I came back to school and I was hearing all these things. Yeah, I'm living with my boyfriend, and he wants me to come home right after school, and I'm just like, like I'm listening to this. What? And he don't want you to do this, and he don't like that I wear this. He only want me to wear this with him, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like then when I go to express like, hey, that's not the right relationship, or that is not something healthy. It's Lavonda, you never been in a relationship. You know what? I'm right, because I am not going to allow someone to tell me or dictate what I can and cannot do unless it's something to help me. Now my boyfriend not gonna let me to go across country by myself. That's okay. He's not gonna do that, but he's gonna come with me because he's gonna say that is not safe. But he's not gonna say, "Oh, you can't wear them jeans outside." What you mean I can't wear these jeans outside? I wore these jeans before I saw you. You got me when I was wearing these jeans. So now I'm with you. You don't want me to wear the jeans. It's two different things. So no, I'm not shocked at all at the the percentile, but also this is something that parents need to know, that teens can go through abusive relationships.
Lavonda, I definitely liked some points that you brought up, like about oh, you can't wear this or you can't go here in this space. A lot of people today, in the generations, they're big. I guess they get it from social media or something, and they're more, if it's not toxic, then I don't want it. Do you guys like have anything to say about that line? Like, do you guys what do you guys think about that? Does that what do you guys think about that? I hear that a lot. So
yes, that I don't understand. So my example for that would be every time I scroll on social media, and especially Instagram or TikTok, and the ideal relationship with someone, or they have like a gun to the person's head and say, "You not going anywhere, you mine," this, that, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, he loved me." No, he will hurt you. At any given moment, he is given the chance, he will. And I've never understand that. And maybe that's just me, because everybody is different. So I can't, put my opinions on others. I can't do that. But I always see that if he don't slap me, he don't love me. Huh? It's always like an abusive, like it has to be a little abuse in the relationship in order for the relationship to be real. And that I could never get or be comfortable with. I never understood that. And even some of my friends, I would see them post and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh," because the dude would be choking them. And then they'd be like, "You're not going anywhere. Don't nobody need to take you." What's that saying they be saying? If I can't have you, nobody can. You need to, as soon as they say that, you need to take that and run.
Yeah.
Okay. We that is not something, "Oh, he just loved me, he just want to be with me." No, that is a threat. He is serious. At any chance, if it's not him, it would be somebody else that would try and come and get you to hurt you in any other way, whether it be exposure on social media, meaning leaking things that you may have sent to your partner, maybe outing you out to a family member. If you're part of the LGBT queer plus community, it can be all of that. If they say that, you need to take that seriously and leave. That's just me. But yes.
I think especially right now, I guess maybe in the last few years, relationships like that, toxic relationships, are romanticized in TV shows and in movies. You want the dark boy, the bad boy. And so that blurs the line between what is like attractive to people and what is clearly unsafe and clearly a bad thing. And so I think many of these young people are, they're brought up to believe that it's okay, that it's attractive, and it's something that you should value in a person, which, come on, like, and I think helping these kids realize, these people realize that it's, like you said, like it could go anywhere. You don't know, it might not be this person, but it might be someone else. So just to know, like, it's not something to play around with. You got to take this thing seriously.
I completely agree with both of you guys. That is something that it is in TV shows, something that artists and rappers are going through, or pitting their wife or baby mom or girlfriend through, or even talking about in songs. That is something that should not be played with. but also I'm in school for psychology and sociology, and it also goes back to the girl or boy background. Abuse is not one-sided. That's one thing I want to get, before we go even further into this panel and this discussion. Abuse is not one-sided. A woman also can be abusive to a girl. To a man too. And the things that she says, the things that she does, physical, financially, So we don't want to see, when we talk about teen dating violence, we don't want to just have the picture of a man hitting a girl or a woman. We need to both have both images in our head, as if this girl is saying something, or this man is saying something, or this girl is taking money from hiding money, or whatever the case may be. These are the things that we need to see when we're talking about teen dating violence and how serious it is, because it starts now. But if a girl or a boy don't know that this is violence and that this is abuse, they will come to become a woman or a man and go through the same thing, or retaliate on someone else, their next partner. So yes, that's really a serious thing. And I don't like when anybody play. That means girls or boys. When girls be like, oh, you can't even wear them sweatpants without me. Girl, calm down. That's also an example of how a girl can be verbally abusive to and isolate himself from being himself, isolate himself outside the world of being himself. If he was wearing sweatpants every day, that's something that he wants to do. Even if he started a new trend to wear sweatpants, let him wear sweatpants. That's what he wants to do. But when you come and tell someone that's not what you're going to do in this relationship, if you want to be with me, you got to wear this, you got to do that, you got to look like this, you got to say like that, you got to hang out with people like this, that's abusive, and that is not okay.
I love how you brought up that abuse is not one-sided, because a lot of the time when people hear domestic violence or dating violence, they just automatically assume it's a man doing something to a woman, when males can be victims as well. So I definitely like how you touched on that, and I don't want people to stare lightly in that direction. Men can be victims just as well as women. So thank you for that. So my next question is, have any of you three ever experienced any unhealthy relationship? If so, what were some red flags that you've seen? Or even if you didn't experience, have you ever gotten red flags that made you say, okay, no, this is not right?
So for me, I've been in an unhealthy relationship, and I've been in an abusive relationship before, where my partner has left marks before on my body, but that's when my self-esteem was completely low, and he was basically telling me if that nobody else will love you like I will, nobody else. And even thinking about it now at this age now, I know I was stupid back then, but I was real stupid, because ain't nobody gonna tell me now that I've matured enough and have more confidence in me, that I'm worth more than anything. I'm more than a conqueror. I would never be defeated. With God, all things are possible, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So you can't tell me what I cannot and can't do. So with that being said, I've also experienced my friends go through abusive relationships, and they've been so blindsided to it because they were so eager to jump into a relationship, and it was their first love. And so they always felt like, well, this is who I want to be with. Okay, but if he's abusing you, then this is not the person that you should be with. You need to find someone that is compatible for you and will understand your flaws, your background, everything about you. And that all needs to come into play. But yeah, I have experienced from myself and from my other friends as well. But I was a victim, but now I'm victorious. So I'm not going back. So yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. So I actually have not been in an unhealthy relationship that I know of. I also haven't been in many relationships, but successful relationships. But I guess just from what I've seen, and not from my own experience, so beware, but is just a lack of respect for, you know, who that person is, or kind of like a selfish, like a selfish view in a relationship. So like relationships are clearly two-sided. If one person starts to think it's one-sided, then come on, maybe not. And then the last thing I would say is, right now in this day and age, sending pics, it's like for young people, it's like one of those other things that's like romanticized, and I think that's just like right off the bat, if that's the first thing that you're getting from someone, or that starts your, you know, interaction with them, then you're starting off on the wrong foot, and it's not going to start well.
Nicole, thank you for sharing your story. Before I even get into what I was going to say, you're not stupid. You were not stupid. You would never be stupid. You know, that was a serious situation you went through. And yes, you are victorious. And that someone on this line needed to hear that story so they can leave the relationship they're in. And that you're showing that your strength and being on live, that many people, yes, it's only probably like 20 people in here, but this can be replayed multiple times. And for the strength that you had to tell your story, that just shows how much God had moved in your life. So that was a test, but now it turned into a testimony. And Amy, thank God you ain't have to go through nothing. You are lucky. Like, praise him. Yes. That is, you know, that's great that you didn't have to go through anything. And have I experienced an unhealthy relationship? No. A situationship? Yes. It was to the point where, you know, it wasn't physical abuse. It was verbal abuse. And I think that sometimes I wish, I know I shouldn't say this, but if someone would have hit me, the pain would have went away. Words you cannot forget. You know, words, when someone says something to you and says you're not enough, or you won't be anything without me. And these are the things that remains. You know, sometimes you sit there and you sit by yourself. But also that's when the devil tries to creep up. And I had to remember what it says in the Bible, that love is patient and kind. These people wasn't patient with me or kind to me. So why should I even let them have any leverage over my life now? And especially if it was just a situationship, you know, that was in the past. But also I seen those red flags and just said, in my next, and whoever I deal with next, I will not tolerate disrespect. I will not tolerate you saying anything off, even playing, because sometimes when people play, they're really saying things that, you know, they really mean. So I don't even want to play with my words, because also it say life and death lies within your tongue. So if I'm speaking death over our situation, playing, what can you do with that same tongue when you're angry and upset? When I'm angry or upset, or not even angry or upset with my partner, but when we have a discussion or a quote unquote argument, we talk within love. We listen to each other. I didn't have that. It was, I said what I said, and that's that. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And, you know, Amy, take notes, girl. Don't go through none of this.
Trust me, I am listening, and I'm holding on to every word that you guys say. Like,
Nicole.
I strive to be as you guys.
Love, encouraging You are not stupid at all. You were, can you guys hear me? Mhm.
That's never happened before, but it had to happen at some point in time, right? It did. Okay. So what she was saying was, thank you guys for your transparency. It was amazing. And it took a lot of courage to do that. We have one last question to ask you, and we will let you enjoy the rest of your evening. So how can parents and schools or your personal support group or community create an environment that encourages open and honest conversations around dating and dating violence? Amy, you go first.
Well, I know that in my health class, we had someone come in and give us a little something on dating violence, and that actually was very, very successful for me. Like, even just introducing the topic and just hearing it for the first time, or getting the facts that actually started my education on dating violence, for sure. And then I think it's important in the media and social media that it's portrayed in the truest light that it can be. In romanticizing dating violence is something that I think needs to stop. And I think that, encouragement to speak out against it, to, make it a make a comfortable environment for people to share their stories and to learn is super important. So yeah, definitely. I wish my school had even done a little bit more to bring up the topic more and more, so that kids are really getting it nailed into their head, because it still exists. And then I know a few people that could really hear it.
I will say, Amy, your school is one of the rare schools and few that allow us to come in and do what we do. So thank you to Strathaven High School for the support and allowing DAP to come in and educate your students. And as you heard, we need to be there more often. Thank you. Lavonda, you can go next, and I'm going to let Ania take back over.
So I think how parents can, create an environment that encourage honest conversations about dating violence is talking to their child about dating and starting out young. Sometimes we can't always give our parents cannot always give us the right way, or, the correct, example of what dating is. But sometimes that's talking to and sitting down and having that conversation with them, like, hey, I know you don't want to talk, because I know I didn't want to talk about dating with my parents, but sitting down and saying, like, I know you don't want to talk about this, but I want to have this conversation with you, so when you become serious, that these are the things you need to look out for. In schools, talking about schools or whatever, I believe that it should be more assemblies, it should be more classroom discussions, and things that can have these hard discussions. I just wrote a paper on having discussions and talking about these things. But I think the problem is that the reason why we cannot have these conversations in school, because I even asked my principal when I was in high school. It was a great high school. But when I had this conversation, it was because she said we don't have enough support. So we didn't have enough counselors. Someone came out when I was in ninth grade. And I mean, this lady, she was wonderful. She had this discussion, everything. But every session, kids will come out crying, like tears, emotional, so much because they have never had this conversation before. So they did not have the support to help with all these kids. We only had 2 counselors. And I think we had like 500 kids or whatever. And that was a lot for 2 counselors. That's 250. And most of these kids was just emotionally just drained. So that is the reason why schools cannot have those discussions. But I wish that when we do have those discussions, we will add the support.
Okay. I finally got it because it took me a minute. But as far as our parents, I feel like our parents should be able, like Lavonda said, to listen to their kids, especially if you have any questions about dating and dating violence, to be able to handle and answer those uncomfortable questions, just so that way when we get older, we don't have to go through that. Just being able to break down what you should take, what you should not take, 50-50 in the relationship, just actually breaking down to your child, dating, all that it takes to date someone, what should you expect, self-love, loving your other partner, vice versa, things of that nature. For schools, they don't really teach us life. They're trying to pass us so we can move on, pass us on to the next professor, the next teacher, just to move us on. But I do think that we should have those life lessons, those life skills in school, so that way because we're going to get out in life sooner or later, regardless if we have the education or not, we're still going to be impacted by life wherever we may go. So I feel like we should have those types of conversations and take it as a curriculum, make it a grade. Because okay, let me be honest, if it ain't no grade, it ain't gonna get done for me. But if you make it a grade, I will pay attention and I will actually begin to focus and take notes and be able to implement that into my everyday life, so that way I know for myself how to work in a relationship and how my partner should work with me in that specific relationship.
Okay. A question for you. Are you a person who speaks up when they see something unhealthy, to their friend, or maybe to someone they might not know? And if you do speak up, how do you talk? Are you more like aggressive, like you need to leave this person alone, or are you more like, hey, I've noticed this type of thing?
As I stated, I saw, experienced my friends going through things, and me as a person, I am, and I need to work on it, I understand, but me as a person, I am more of the aggressive yet so tough love. Let me say that. I'm more of the tough love friend. If I know your worth and he or she doesn't, you need to go ahead and leave. I'm more just tell you the truth, whether you like it or not, and you can do the same thing. I want that type of communication with my friend. If you see something that's going on with my relationship, speak about it so I know and I can address it right then and there, so it doesn't have to prolong. And the same way I would do with you, because at the end of the day, I want both of us to benefit from a healthy relationship. I don't want either one of us to be hurting and crying and trying to figure out why he or she may not love me enough. No, we're going to get through this together. So I am more of the tough love. I'm going to tell you how it is, and it's going to be out of love, but it might just be just a tad bit tough. But I am more of that aggressive friend to speak out on And sometimes I would get permission from my friends to say, do you mind if I speak? Because a lot of my friends are not vocal, so they won't speak up for themselves. They'll just take it. And that's not how I roll. And I'll ask permission first. Do you mind if I speak to so-and-so? So that way they can understand how you're feeling, because I know you will not do it. And if they give me the okay, then, you know, I'll talk to that person, I'll address them, or maybe we all can have a civil conversation and I'll just be the mediator, so that way they can hash out their problems. So that's me. Tough love. Mm-hmm.
So, when it comes to my friends and my family specifically, you know, I'm a little biased toward them. So if they are in a unhealthy relationship, I will be vocal about it, and I want to do anything that I can to help my friend or my family member to understand the situation they're in, for me and for them to, you know, see how I can help them, whether that means talking to a parent, talking to a counselor, like talking to the other person. But like you said, Nicole, permission, asking their permission. I do not want to put them in a worse position than they are already in. But yeah, I will do what I need to make sure that they're okay.
Yes, I agree with Amy asking permission, but I'm also like Nicole, like I am that like, come on, girl, or come on, boy, like you know that this ain't right. But also is I seen a lot of dating violence in college when I came to college. And it was really hard seeing it. And I couldn't say anything because that was not my friend. That wasn't, you know, who I hung around. So it was just, I'ma just pray for you and just leave it up to God, because I didn't know how to address those situations. Even when I was in the internship at Lutheran Settlement House, this was a kind of the same question. And I asked it and I said, how would I approach someone that is going through an abusive situation? And they was just like, you know, that is up to your comfortability. And if you think that you are going to get hurt in any way, you know, all you can do is call 911, or, you know, leave a card on the like leave the, you know, the card of the hotline or whatever in their possession, or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to friends, that is also tricky too, because you don't want them to, you know, you tell someone, don't touch that, don't do this, don't do this. You know, when your mom be like, don't be doing that, don't do this, that makes you want to do it even more. So I don't want to tell someone, even in the experiences with my friends and my cousins, I didn't want to tell them, don't go back. Don't, you know that boy, you know that girl, da, 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 da. And then they just, you don't know them like I know them. And you're right. I don't know them how like you know them, but I know you and your work. So therefore, when you come to me, I will always be an open ear. Do not ever close that door of any friends that I'm talking to the live too. Anybody that is going through an abusive relationship, do never close your ear to them, because one day your prayer may be answered. And they like, girl, I can't do this. Boy, I can't do this anymore. Come pick me up. I'm ready. My stuff is packed. He is asleep. She is asleep. I am ready. The out is now. And I know it's going to be a back and forth thing. But when that day comes, they're going to need a friend that they can trust. Not someone that you have been told their business. You have went to their partner. I know what you're doing. Don't do that, because that's going to add flame. It's going to add, you know, ignition to what's already started. So being, you know, going back to Amy, asking permission, and also being that tough friend that I'm here for you, but I know you. So, yeah.
February. And as you, thank you, Lavonda. And as you know, you guys were our kickoff Facebook Live month of February, and February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Do you guys have any final thoughts on that or anything to say before we head out?
I just want to say, I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you for this opportunity just to be able to reach out in this panel and via Facebook Live or wherever this may go, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. I just want each and every one, girl or boy, to know that you are worth something. Don't let anybody try and take you away from knowing who you are. Okay, know who you are and whose you are. Okay, understand that God is with you throughout every situation, in every relationship. He is there. If you need somebody to talk to, I do not mind. You can look me up on my Facebook. Nicole Harrington is right there. If you need somebody to talk to, a listening ear. I love talking to people and understanding you, so that way we can help you and I can impact you in whatever way that I can. And I just want y'all to know that this was amazing conversation. It actually helped me, to get some, feedback from other people and not just myself. And so, yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and it was a I'm so privileged to have spoken with Nicole and Lavonda. You guys, inspiration. Yeah, thinking of you guys, and thinking of you that are listening.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for this platform. Before I got, on live or on here, I prayed and asked God. I said, God, someone is out there that needs to hear this message. Lord, use this platform for your gain and not anything that I want, only for you. And, Nicole, I got to get your number. But before I get off of here, I just want to say, you are more than a conqueror. You do not have to go through the things that you are going through right now. You do not have to go through the abuse. You do not have to go through the violence to find love. This is not the 40-year journey of Israel. You don't have to do that. It's written in the word, love is patient and kind, and that is what you need to look in a relationship. You do not need anybody that can want to control you. You can control yourself. So please call this hotline. She put it in the chat right here. Please call a hotline if you need anybody to talk to, if you're ready to get out of that abusive relationship, and if you are ready to take that step. But if you're not ready to take that step, please still call the hotline. Please still call that friend that you can call on when you need help. And if you can't call on nobody, you can call on the name Jesus, and he will always be there for you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You did. Thank you guys for joining with me and whoever was participated in the live. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I work with Deb, and we offer counseling services for children. And I heard you put the hotline number in the chat. Our hotline number is 610-565-4590. And that's 610-565-4590. Please call. We are 24 hours. If you need help or looking for anybody to talk to, we are available. So thank you. And that's it. That's our live for today. Thank you guys again.